was shot in Old Tucson, Arizona.
In Old Tucson?
Mm-hmm.
And,
what was that like? It's burned down since then.
I'm so sorry it burned down. You have to see the impression for me from Mexico, to see an American town that I had seen when I was a little kid in the movies. That town, and then all of a sudden I'm working in that town. Oh, it was so nice to be there, and I even get chills just to think about it. And I'm so sorry it got burned.
Thank you for joining us today. We are kicking back and talking about Duke Wayne, and we have somebody who was top billed with Duke in Howard Hawks' last movie. That would be Rio Lobo, John Wayne, Jorge Rivero, Rio Lobo, and then everybody else. We want to hear all about it from Jorge Rivero. Come on in.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Look at this great outfit.
Well, this is the outfit from Rio Lobo, because I play a Southerner. And at the time, I didn't speak English very well. So
we knew that. We've seen the film.
Well, it was that, and as a matter of fact, the first one that knew I didn't speak English very well was John Wayne. And he always said, Jorge, come here. Let's do the scene before. So I rehearsed with him before. And it was wonderful, because who better than John Wayne to tell me how to do it? Yeah. So it was great.
He's the king. Have a seat,
yes,
please.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be able to still wear that outfit?
Well, I told my wife, because they said, you got to wear something Western. So I went on my closet, I took the outfit, the Southern outfit, and I put it on, and I said, hey, it still fits.
That's great. It's fantastic. When was the last time you had that on?
In 1970.
Wow.
Yeah, because we made the movie in 1960, at the end of 1969 and 1970. It was released, the movie. Mm-hmm. That was it. So it was released, and at the time, I'm just got to tell the audience, I didn't speak English very well, and the way I met John Wayne was, it was a rodeo in Cuernavaca, a very small rodeo, and I was riding, doing the rodeo, and a Mexican guy came down and he said, hey, Jorge, some gringos want to talk to you. I said, who? I don't know. So I went up. It was, at the time, I didn't know who Howard Hawks was. It was Howard Hawks and some people, I think, from Paramount. So I talked to he said, Jorge, you write very well. I need somebody in my next movie like that. I said, oh, okay. Do you speak English? Oh, yes. So, are you an actor? Oh, yes. So he said, when do you finish here? I said, in a couple of days. Okay, I'm going to fly you to Los Angeles. They put me over there at the Sportsman Lodge, and they got me a teacher, and the teacher taught me the thing. So it came the day where I had to do the scene, and guess who came? John Wayne. He took his hat off. He said, I'm John Wayne, like if I didn't know who John Wayne was. So I was really, really surprised, and it was very nice. I made the scene with him. He turned around and he said, you got the part.
How great.
So it was terrific. I made the movie. It was wonderful to work with all these wonderful actors with me surrounding. When we finished the movie, he said, Jorge, do you want to go to Mexico? And yes, so we took his yacht. It was called the Wild Goose. It was his wife and several other people from Paramount. And we went on the yacht. And in the middle of the ocean, all of a sudden they got in a discussion. And Pilar is her name because she's from Chile. She got the wine and threw him on him. And she got up and she started swearing in Spanish. John went and asked, What's she saying? I didn't know where to go because there's the ocean immediately. I said, I didn't hear well.
Well, she was sort of volatile.
Oh, very, very spicy. So we got to Mexico, and he had a beautiful place. You know, if everybody knows Acapulco, it's where they dive. And he had his house on top. And we were on a restaurant called La Perla, which it goes like this, and it has the tables. And you see the ocean, you see the divers go down. And we were at the top. And he was by himself having a drink in the bar. And an American tourist came and said something to him. Bam! He came right under our table like in the movies. He got up and said, pick up that trash. And that was my wonderful. From there on, when the movie was released, for me, it was wonderful.
Well, with John Wayne on Rio Lobo, that was Howard Hawks' last film. He was such a great director. You didn't know him when you started, but during the filmmaking process, did you like the way he shot? I understand he improvised a lot and let the actors come up with situations that fit within his concept.
As a matter of fact, that's really what I liked about him. And the reason was because you wouldn't come there to the set and there was a camera already there and you had to come from here, you go from there, you say your lines. No, he would make a rehearse. He said, okay, let's rehearse. Then he would hear the rehearse, and from there on he would say, all right, well, I'm going to put a bottle of wine here, and then maybe you can come in this line and sit down here. Let's do the rehearse and so on. So it was wonderful. I only had another Italian director do that same thing. It was Mario Siciliano. Mm-hmm. It was the same style. And it's wonderful to work like that because it comes out from you.
Sure. Well, and with Wayne, because they had done so many films together too, there was an understanding and a fast way of setting things up. And so John Wayne was able to improvise that way as well.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. And I got to say something on Howard Hawks. They put me over there at the Sportsman Lodge and we were filming on CBS over there. And the first day I had to film, I didn't know the traffic. So they gave me a car. And I arrived 5 minutes late. And Howard Hawks was sitting down like that. And the whole crew, I could feel the whole atmosphere. And he said, you're late. I said, yes, well, the traffic. I'll fire you next time. Whoa. From there on, I was an hour before.
That's good, because if you are on time, you're late already.
Oh, yes. So from there on, it was I'm very careful now not to be late anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And you had so many great scenes with Duke and Chris Mitchum in that film.
Chris Mitchum, by the way, I saw your interview with Chris Mitchum. Oh, it was wonderful. I really liked the guy. I made 2 movies with him.
Well, he sent a note to say hello and also that he wished he were here.
Oh,
to see you in this outfit, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he could fit into his outfit now.
No.
Well, the opening of Rio Lobo, speaking of shooting in Mexico, that's the only sequence that was filmed in Mexico, the train robbery sequence that was set up so well. Yakima Canutt, the great stunt coordinator.
Was in Cuernavaca. Mm-hmm. It was the train that comes from Mexico City, goes through the mountains. It goes like that, and they handle it so well. Yeah. It was amazing, all this.
That's a wonderful sequence. And so then the rest of the film was shot in Old Tucson, Arizona.
And Old Tucson.
Mm-hmm. And, what was that like? It's burned down since then.
Oh, I'm so sorry it burned down. You have to see the impression for me from Mexico. to see an American town that I had seen when I was a little kid in the movies. That town. And then all of a sudden I'm working in that town. Oh, it was so nice to be there. And I even get chills just to think about it. And I'm so sorry it got burned. You know, it's such a wonderful place and such a wonderful town.
Then growing up, the Westerns that you saw, were they dubbed into Spanish? The B Westerns, the
Yes,
John Wayne
usually
Westerns?
they have subtitles, subtitles in Spanish at the time when I was growing up. And that was my thing, to watch the Westerns. I want to be a cowboy.
Yeah. Who were your favorites?
John Wayne.
Okay.
That was definitely my favorite.
I think it's great that you kept the outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Does wardrobe know that you have this?
Oh, yeah.
Your very first film, you were a masked wrestler.
There was this guy called El Santo. Yeah. He had a mask, his boots, and he had a cape. So I was just, let's say, like Batman and Robin. I was Robin. And I was helping El Santo to battle the bad guys. So it was, I had to, the producer at the time said, "Do you know how to wrestle, Jorge?" And I said, "No." "Okay, I'm going to send you so you learn how to wrestle." And he sent me over there where all the wrestlers wrestle. And there was this guy called La Tonina Jackson, Black Shadow, and all these guys. When I got there, they said, "So you're going to do the movie with El Santo? We're going to teach you how to wrestle." Boom! Boom! Holy Moses, I learned the hard way.
That's an auspicious debut, but those films were terrific. They were their own unique superhero movies for a generation. And some of the other films that you made before breaking into the American market, you worked with Pedro Armendariz Jr.
Oh, yes.
And Emilio Fernandez.
Yes. He directed me in a movie. He was a very special man. He at the time, of course, all these people I had seen when I was a child, I watched them, and all of a sudden I'm working with them. And he was very, very special guy.
Emilio was Mapache in The Wild Bunch, and not only was an actor, but a famed director as well.
Very famous and very good and very talented. And he wouldn't take any, I don't want to say the word, from anybody.
I'd heard he carried a gun while he directed, is that true?
Oh, he carried a gun, and he always carried a gun, and there was this actress at the time. He had a boyfriend, and then the boyfriend came and started arguing with him, took the gun out. Ooh. I said, "This is going to be ugly." Fortunately, nothing happened.
Did you ever work with Gabriel Figueroa, the great cinematographer?
Yes, he was the cinematographer. I did with him 3 movies as him as cinematographer.
Was he a fast setting up the shots and everything, or did he elaborate and take his time to make sure the lighting was just right? His films are stunningly beautiful.
He took his time, and he rehearsed with them, not with stuntmen, with the actor. Because he wanted to see his face. He was the right lighting, and it was the whole thing. It was different.
Yeah. Well, he sure shot beautiful films for John Ford. He
Yes.
shot The Fugitive
Yes.
in beautiful black and white.
Oh, yes.
The one with Henry Fonda.
Oh, yes.
And I think Pedro Armendariz is in that.
Yes, he was there. Pedro Armendariz and all these famous actors before me. I was.
Well, that was the golden age of Mexican cinema, too, I think,
Yes.
when they were working. So, did you ever work on a Sartana Western?
I know what? Sartana?
Sartana.
No, because it was at the time when they hired me, this guy, Mario Siciliano, hired me for 10 movies. So I couldn't do anything else but with him. And then there was this other Italian director. He was very, very good. I made a movie called El Bárbaro, The Barbarian. It was very good. I made it in the island called La Isla Perdida, the Lost Island. It's in the Mediterranean, and we were filming there, and he was very picky, very particular in doing his scenes, and he hired me for a while too, so it was very hard to work with somebody else. Because the movie was released part in London. At the time, John Wayne couldn't travel, so Howard Hawks asked me to go. We went over there to London, and so there was a press conference, and the Italians were there. And everybody, we finished the movie, and of course I was there with John Wayne, and the Italians came, and he said they want to hire me for the spaghetti western.
Sure.
And I made a bunch of spaghetti westerns.
Yeah. So we have some fans here.
And they were done in Spain, at a place called Almeria. They had an American town, a Mexican town, and an Indian town. It would look like Arizona, this place. So the Spanish came to me and said, "Hey, you speak Spanish?" "Yes." "Where are you from?" "I'm from Mexico." "Good." So they hired me too. So it was pretty good, because then I really started working a lot. I started working in Latin America, working in the United States, working in Canada, and working in Europe. So it was a very good time for me.
That's the wonderful place to shoot all those spaghetti westerns in Spain.
The Last Heart Man with Charlton Heston, James Coburn.
That was a violent movie.
Yes.
Really.
And
Barbara Hershey.
And Barbara Hershey.
And Michael Parks.
Two crazed men going back in time with their guns as judge and jury.
Yeah, well, I know where you're going. You're going about 6 feet under. That's where you're going. They got 7 guns, you're 1.
Everybody's got to die. Nobody's got to give up.
And Charlton was very nice at the time. He liked to play tennis. He would say, "Okay, Jorge, let's do the scene fast. And let's go play tennis." Because I like to play tennis myself. So it was fun. He was a very nice guy too. I was very lucky to be involved with these people, with John Wayne, with Charlton Heston, with all these people. They were so nice to me, and they opened the doors for me in reality all over the world.
Right. Well, it's a rare thing to have been able to work with that group. I mean, to go from John Wayne and Howard Hawks to starring with Charlton Heston and James Coburn and another one, The Last Hard Man. That really, in the 70s, everything got so violent.
Fighting against the reality of time. Dueling to the death. Driven by revenge.
You were in one before Rio Lobo, Soldier Blue.
Yes.
Candice Bergen, who can ride. She's a good horseback person. And Peter Strauss, Donald Pleasance.
Yes.
But the end of that movie is bloodier than Wild Bunch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Spotted Wolf. My God, sir, he's got a flag of truce. Yes, sir. It's a white flag.
Nonsense.
Well, here, see for
I
yourself.
told you, Lieutenant, give the order.
Yes, sir. Open fire!
Nevertheless,
Ready!
the cavalry attacked, slaughtering 700 Indians,
Fire!
more than half of whom were women and children.
It was bloody, and it was very interesting. It was really my first movie at the time. In reality, it was all done in Mexico. And at the time, it was to work with them and to work with Candice Bergen. She was a big star. Wow, I mean, I'm working with all these big American stars, and I'm from Mexico.
Did you ever see John Wayne later, after the film was done, Rio Lobo?
No, because then at the time, I started working very much in Europe, and then I couldn't see him anymore. I saw his last movie, And then I heard he died.
What did you think of his last movie, The Shootist?
I liked it. I always liked John Wayne.
Yeah.
He was my inspiration when I was growing up. So I always liked John Wayne. For me, I've been working with this big hombre.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
No.
You know what happens? You as an actor, when you start working on a movie, you give everything. And you hope everything comes the best. Some are very successful and some are not. But I guess that's part of life.
Well, Jorge, thank you for joining us today. It's a thrill.
Thank you very much.
Sharing your story.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. Obviously, you love Westerns like we do, or you wouldn't have tuned in. We'd like to keep you happy. I want to be happy. I want to see more Westerns. Every Sunday we post a new one. If you subscribe, like, comment, and then ring that bell, you won't miss a one. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.